My town is one of those small backcountry places where folklore is law. Strange things happen here. People hear eerie music in the woods, see animals that don't belong, or spot strange graves in gullies. But the real terror? It's the abandoned coal mine, where over 100 miners died more than a century ago. It all started when some miners complained of bad omens. They claimed to see carrion crows deep in the tunnels and hear horses' cries where there shouldn't be any. But no one listened, and soon after, a disaster struck. Some say not all the miners died in the explosion. A few survived, trapped underground, wandering the flooded tunnels beneath the town, starving and desperate. Over time, the town began to lose things: dogs, cats, even people, all swallowed by the earth, becoming victims of the pit. When I was 14, my grandfather, for reasons I still don't fully understand, gave me directions to the mine. My best friend Key and I set out early one October morning. The mist clung to the trees as if it wanted to pull us back, but we pressed on. After trudging through thick underbrush and abandoned tracks, we found it: the pit. It wasn't much to look at, just a hole in the ground, but the air around it reeked of death and decay. And when we looked down into the abyss, something moved. The urge to run was overwhelming, but before I turned to flee, Key froze. His face was pale, his eyes wide. From the pit, he swore he saw the ashen hands of a miner clawing its way up. We fled then, running faster than we ever had, our hearts pounding in our chests. We never spoke about it. For years we kept our silence. 5 years later, Key broke that silence. He told me that the face he saw in the pit was the same one that had stared back at him in the murky water of an old mere we passed that day. "They're coming for me," he whispered. And then, just like that, he was gone. A sinkhole swallowed him up, just like the others before. Now, whenever I think back to that day, I remember my grandfather's words: "'Tis nothing to look, 'tis everything to see." I saw myself. Key saw something else.